Hello, my name is Robin Crowfoot. I'm an American living in Bad Kreuznach, Germany, and for the last several years I've fished at this wonderful place on the Nahe River located in Planish, Germany. This is November the 9th, 2001, and we've just suffered through one of the worst fishing years that I can ever remember. Being 53 years old and catching my first trout at age 3, I can say that I've been on the water a little bit during my lifetime. I asked the question to many of my friends, and a lot of them had no answer. A lot of them had only opinions, and I had one too, of why the fishing this year was so bad. Behind me you can see that the Nahe is having high water right now. And last year, from October of 2000 until just about the early part of March 2001, almost 7 months, closer to 8 I suppose, we had high water in this region. Many people think that the local fish were swept away by the high water. Others have blamed catfish, others have blamed cormorants. So I have set out with this camera to see just exactly what could have been involved in having so few fish this year. Last year, in this particular spot, I caught over 31 durbel, which is a white fish of nice proportion, in about an hour's time. This year, I haven't caught 30 all year. I don't believe it lays on the technique, it lays upon the water. We'll be using an echolot during our short journey, and we'll be looking at the cities of Erfelden, Germany, Bingham, Germany, as well as here in Planish, which is a kreis of Bad Kreuznach, Germany. So come with me as we start our journey through 3 different places that have once again, by some unknown reason, become fishless.
Erfelden is located south of Mainz and north of Mannheim in the German state of Hessen. The old Rhine runs through the area and it is a great place to fish. This area is well known for large game fish. Muskies, sander, rankin, and catfish grow here to large proportions. The smaller whitefish are also abundant, along with nice-sized carp. The fishing newspapers claim that this is a real hot spot. We have fished here 3 days a week, every week from July through the middle of November, and have caught few fish. The local fishermen have had the same success. I think that if one person catches a nice fish and sends the picture to a fishing magazine that they write "Fishing Hotspot," I wonder where they get their information. Small muskies and sander would hunt and chase smaller fish right at your feet, even directly here in our camp. Suddenly, in the second week of October, everything came to a sudden stop. Only a few extremely small fish were caught. During the summer months, our fish locator always showed a screen full of fish. Since the second week of October, that screen has remained empty. There goes a cormorant. It looks like it's flying into the nature preserve. This is a restricted area for everyone, including boats, but we will go into the mouth of the lake and see what is there anyway. Normally throughout the year a few cormorants are seen, but nothing of this proportion. There are hundreds of ducks in the area. There's little hunting in Germany due to the complicated restrictions and regulations, so all animals just continue to multiply as there are few, if any, natural enemies to keep them under control. The cormorant is not a native bird of Germany. It's a bird of the Far East and ocean coastal regions. In China, the birds are bred for fishing. A long line is tied to their leg and a ring is placed around their neck so that they cannot swallow the fish. The bird weighs about 3 kilos when grown and is capable of eating 100 fish per day, or its body weight. That means that each cormorant can eat 6 pounds of fish each and every day of its life. Turning numbers into fish, we could say that a cormorant can eat 2 nice 1-pound trout, 20 normal-sized rhodaugen, and have room for a 2-pound carp for dessert. That is 1 bird and 1 day. When we figure this with a calculator, that is 2,190 pounds of fish each year. We've seen about 200 cormorants on the islands, and here's a flock of about 20 birds. This small flock can eat 438,000 pounds of fish each year. A flock like this one and other larger flocks enter into an area and literally clean it out. then move on a short distance and repeat the same process over and over. This man is a local fisherman. He said that when the cormorants arrive, most fish disappear. Then come the gray cranes, which eat the fish that the cormorants have injured. Later come the seagulls and clean out whatever is left over. We have not located the large water boiling flock this morning, so we'll head back to camp and get a cup of coffee. It's 6:30 in the morning, and as I was drinking my first cup of coffee, I looked out the window and saw what I had hunted for the previous day. Cormorants, directly in front of our camper. Grabbing the video camera, I immediately started filming through a double glass window that was really dirty. It's first light and hard to see. Not only cormorants, but also gray cranes are in this group. Actually, there are two groups that are hunting close together. Combined, there are over 110 birds. When so many cormorants dive like this, there's no place for the fish to swim to except into the mouth of another waiting cormorant. There are over 110 birds in this group. These are not sweet songbirds, but rather vicious, fish-eating, fish-killing machines that eat more than they need and throw up the rest. The bird mafia in Germany has protected these birds to the extent that they have cleaned out the fish completely in many of Germany's lakes and rivers. The gray crane is no innocent bystander. They also hunt their body weight in fish every day. We've probably seen 30 of these large birds congregated here together.
About 75 water kilometers north of Erfelden, we find ourselves in Bingham. Bingham has a lot to offer. It has the main Rhine, it has many small pools that run along the side, and the Bühnenfelder, which is the only place allowed in Rhineland-Pfalz where you can fish from an anchored boat. We'll now be taking a look at the Bingham area, which in the past has had a lot of nice fish, and now seems once again to be empty.
Bingham is located in the German state of Rhineland-Pfalz. The Nahe River empties here into the Rhine, making it a great place for fish to congregate. Local fishermen say that when the cormorants arrive in mass, that these trees are black with thousands of the birds. The haven is a favorite place for many fishermen. In the past, many nice fish of all species have been taken here. Last year, one of the members of our fishing club caught a muskie that was 1 meter, 20 centimeters long. Fishing for sander was extremely good in the area of this ferry. This year, a few scattered catches have been reported, but nothing like in the past. We have moved about 5 kilometers downriver from the haven to the Teiche or pool area. I have caught several nice-sized muskies in these pools, as well as other species of fish. When the Rhine is at normal level, these pools are totally enclosed and the water is crystal clear. They all have a nice stand of water plants, and it's just a great area for fishing from the bank. Nice brazen, rhodalgin, carp, dierbel, bass, and catfish have been caught in these pools. Late last winter and early this year, I caught several muskies of this size using plastic fish. Many cormorants have been seen in these pools, which were enclosed by rock walls, making it impossible for the fish to escape. On the other side of the rock wall, the Rhine runs at full force. With patience, nice fish can be caught in the heavy current. Here's a nice barba caught by Elfie during close season, and it's being returned to the water. The Bühnenfelder start at the end of the pool area. This is the path that we must drag our boat down to get to the water. We're glad that the porta-boat weighs only 31 kilos. During high water, the pools in Bühnenfelder are all joined together. But at normal water level, they have rock walls going from the shore far into the Rhine. This is a good area for sander fishing, and it occasionally gives up a nice muskie too. Centuries earlier, these rock walls were built to break the strong current of the Rhine and provide calmer water for the fishing fleets. Cormorants are constantly seen in this area, as well as most of the Rhineland-Pfalz waters. What has traditionally been a great place to fish is now almost fishless.
We're now in Planish. Planish is about 15 water kilometers upriver from Bingham, on the Nahe, of course. It's a great place to fish. My wife and I spend 3 to 5 days a week, every week, for the last 2 years. Rain, snow, sunshine, high water, low water, cold weather, hot weather. We've been on the river someplace, and this is one of our favorite places to be. So we'll take a look at some of the sights of the Planish water before and after the fish departed.
Last September of 2000, the high water started on the Nahe, and most other rivers were also quickly filled to overflow. A normally clear trout river was turned to coffee brown muddy water, not for just a few days, but for almost 8 long months. Trout, muskie, sander, and other game fish of this region cannot handle dirty water for long lengths of time. Some hunt by sight and cannot see their prey in these conditions. Surely some of the large fish must have perished due to hunger. Other fish seeking refuge in the shallow water of the flooded areas became easy prey for the cormorants and gray cranes. Still others, weakened by fighting the current for such an extended period of time, were simply washed away downstream. The Nahe does not have huge numbers of cormorants and gray cranes like the Rhine does. The water is smaller and cannot support so many fish-eating birds. However, they are here, and they are here in number. Their impact on the smaller Nahe is the same as on the Rhine. They clean out the fish. The Naw had it all: trout, muskies, sander, eels, carp, durble, carusha, barba, rhodalgin, and many more, along with a great view and just a nice place to be. Last year, and after the high water this year, we managed to land a few nice fish, but nothing really large. We have followed the fishing reports literally, traveling to Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, but we still think that this is one of the best fishing waters that we have found. These pictures show the size and species of some of the fish found in our water. No bait in the water means no fish on the table. Even here, the plague of the Cormorant is evident. On June 1 of 2000, Elfie caught this really large carp that weighed 13.6 kilos. The next day, she landed a 12-pounder. Many carp were seen swimming in the clear water. This year, we have not seen one single carp. Elfie also landed some nice-sized brazen. Both weighed just over 3 kilos apiece. It is also a super place for fly fishing. Durble, barba, and cormorant shared the water. Now only the cormorant is seen. Several gray cranes live here locally, and they too take a toll on the fish population.
Reason grows fish. Trying to eat it. It's too big to get down. We're talking about a big fish.
I suppose that even the cormorants can't resist as pretty a place as this.
We've just about come to the end of our little info doco. There's a couple of things that were not mentioned in the film that I'd like to mention now in closing. One is garbage. There's a tremendous amount of garbage that's washed into our lakes and rivers every year with high water. Some of this garbage is thrown in by people. Some of it is washed away from large cities, but still it finds its way into our waters where it rots. And a lot of the things that have been swept into the water give off toxic chemicals, which I'm sure plays a role in limiting the amount of fish in any certain water. Also, it's the subject of illegal fishing. Right here in Planish, our sportsverein, our angelverein, we find constantly where people have set out trout nets. That's a long line that goes from one side of the river to the other with a lot of hooks. They tie them to trees. They come and check them when they feel like it. Illegal fishing, that's stealing our resources. Every angelverein in Germany puts fish into the water. Every angelverein in Germany cleans up their water. We're the only people in the so-called nature group that do anything like that. So illegal fishing hurts everyone. It steals our resources and it steals the fish that the different fishing clubs have paid for to put into the river. To answer the question, where have the fish gone and why have they gone, I don't know the answer to that, but there have been a lot of contributing factors. High water, larger fish, chemical spills. But I believe more than all of the others combined has the cormorant played a mighty role. As we've seen how many fish this one single bird can take out of any given water. So what do we do? How do we cure the problem? I don't know. Politicians certainly won't take care of it for us. I guess our only hope is that we can get a really strong, hard freeze this winter that will freeze our rivers over to where it's too thick for the cormorants to get through to the few fish that remain. Then either they will starve to death or move on to be someone else's problem. But it's a hope that next year will be a better year, so I wish you Petri Heil and good fishing.